Hi, I'm Derek with Spraymaster Technologies. The intention of this video is to show you an overview of the 600 REK Central System and a demonstration. So I like to start in the back of the facility where your unit is going to be placed, probably in a mop closet or some form of a janitor's closet, centrally located in the building. With this rack unit, you will have obviously a pump and a motor for your unit. A few basic components I won't bore you with: unloader and line pressure relief, and you'll have the ability to inject chemical through this unit, so hands-off chemical usage from here on out. Things that the unit has built in to protect itself. You have a thermal overload switch, so if the unit gets too hot, it will turn itself off. Hot water can cause this, or if the unit is running for too long without any water flowing through the system. The water just tends to circulate through the tank until it reaches a certain temperature, and then it will shut itself off. The peristaltic pump that comes with this unit is right here. This is what's going to supply the disinfectant or sanitizer to your system. On your remote station, which we'll show later, it will be chemical number 2 at the remote station, and we'll point that out later. The chemicals can go in 1-gallon jugs underneath the unit, or it can be in a 5-gallon bucket or a 55-gallon drum, whichever you guys prefer, based on your usage. There is a required oil change on the unit after the first 75 hours of use. It's real simple. We have a video on YouTube that will show you how to do that. The master control panel. This is the brains of the operation. This is the mechanical part. This is what will tell the unit to come on and off when you're pushing buttons on the remote station. You will also have an inline water filtration system, and this filter will need to be changed depending on the sediment content that's in your local water. You'll just need to keep an eye on that. We recommend 3 to 5 months, but as needed if the water has a lot more sediment in it. Other than that, you're not going to touch much back here with this system, other than making sure your draw tubes are in the bottom of your chemical jug. And if you have any questions at all, please call our 1-800 number, and it's right here on the unit, and it's right here on the master control panel as well. Okay, so now we're at the remote stations. Your facility might have recessed remotes. They might have surface mounted remotes. Most animal shelters are going to have recessed, and that means that the main unit that's back in the closet is going to have tubing running up and above the ceiling and down through the wall, like this shown up here. This tubing comes down inside the remote station that's mounted on the wall. It's recessed in. It will have a lockable lid. You just flip that up, and now you have access to your pressure washer. Remote station, you'll have an on and off switch, and you'll also have a ready light, which means that this system is ready to be operated. And you'll also have a chemical 1 and a chemical 2 switch available at the remote station. Chemical 1 is going to be your deodorizer or your degreaser, and your chemical 2 will be your sanitizer. And once we get into the operation of the remote, I'll go a little further into detail about the peristaltic pump and its ability. And you also have a rinse button, which changes back from the chemicals after you use it. When we were back in the pump room, we showed you the peristaltic pump. That unit is designed to flow from 0 to 10 ounces per gallon, and most sanitizers for the animal care industry are going to be at a higher volume in order to kill parvo. So the peristaltic pump is able to handle that based on your needs. So once we get to the operation of the unit, I'll explain a little bit more about contact time and such for your chemicals. Okay, so this is your hose reel. It has a 12-foot umbilical hose that will attach to the remote station. You have a gun hanger for your spray wand, and you also have a lockable pin on the back. So once you're in transit with the unit, it will need to be locked so the hose doesn't continue to come off the hose reel. Back here. It's just a simple pull out and turn, and now that unlocks the hose reel so it can freely swing. When you're done, lock it back. Now we're ready for transit. Okay, to begin operation, the first thing we're going to need to do is connect this umbilical hose to the remote station. So just unwind this guy, pull the collar back on the quick disconnect, push on till you hear the connection. Next step, these nozzles are wear items, and the more care you take with them, the longer they're going to last. So be sure to keep it on your toe whenever you're attaching it to the hose. Same thing as with the remote station. You're going to pull the collar back and insert the hose. Alright, after you have the hose plugged in, you'll come over and you'll turn the system on to on. It's going to automatically default to the rinse cycle. You will not start pressure washing in your kennels until you've already scooped the larch matter, and then we're going to go rinse everything down into the trig strands. Once everything has cleaned from the kennels, we're going to go over here to chemical 2. We're going to make that selection. That turns the peristaltic pump on back in the pump room, and then we're going to dispense our chemical on low pressure. And I'll show you the operation of the push-pull action of the variable nozzle. So it's simple. This is your high pressure where it's rinsed. We want to switch to low pressure. We're going to pull the nozzle out. The low pressure is designed for application of chemical. That way you're directing the chemical to exactly where you want it to go. You're not dispensing it at high pressure because that will atomize and you will not be able to walk in the room for a little bit because the chemical odor will be so strong. So that's why we give you the low pressure option. And now once we get to the kennels are all clean now, they're all rinsed up. Now let's put some sanitizer down. We're going to go back to the remote and select chemical 2. Again, that's going to tell the peristaltic pump that I want sanitizer to come out. So we're going to come in here and we're going to keep it on low pressure. And eventually there will be soap. You'll start to see some foam. You can also adjust the fan of the nozzle from a wide fan down to a pencil stream. This will allow you to get things that are stuck really bad off the floor. And now we've got chemical on the floor. We're going to allow that to sit for its contact time. A lot of chemicals vary between 5 to 20 minutes. So once that chemical time has done its job, we're going to go back to the unit and then we're going to select rinse. You can rinse on high pressure. So once your chemical lines have cleared, you've got clear water coming out and all the kennels are clean now, the sanitizer has done its job. We're going to go turn the unit off. Everything's all rinsed up and we are ready for tomorrow. After you've cleaned your kennels and now we're going to put up the hose reel, we're going to disconnect the gun. We're going to put it in the gun hanger, and it always needs to face away from the handle. There's a common tendency, if it is in this orientation, that you'll want to drive the hose reel by the spray wand handle. It's not safe, it's not good for the spray wand over a long time. So let's always put it in this way and then carry the hose reel by the handle intended. Now we're going to disconnect from the remote station. Same way we put it on, we're going to pull the collar back and take it off. We're going to wind up this umbilical hose. We're going to go on to the next area.